All right, so for instance, let's take a look at this one. And all right, we're going to make a change to this. So if I go to where it says caption, first of all, if you don't want the caption to be full, you can also do partial thumbnail, which means that it's going to only come up about halfway. You could also do lightbox only, and then the caption will just show up as a tooltip. Here, I'll show you what that would look like. And you can always change these things back if you don't like what happens. And then you can say display on hover or not. We're going to just leave that on. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to select this picture, and then now I'm going to go where it says link, and I'm gonna cut that out. I'll just unlink it, and we're gonna update this. Okay, and then I don't have to go type this. I can just click on this link right here to see what my changes were. All right, so now if I come here, and you'll notice that it's not hovering anymore. Where it shows the full caption, but whenever I hover it, it does show me the title. It says photo by Silas Bash, or Bash, however you say it, on Unsplash. But if I click it, you'll see that it will show me a vertical picture. All right, and so I can see the difference of what it looks like. And now that I've got two pictures that don't have links that link out, I can actually use the arrows, the side-to-side arrows. So, and it shows you the thumbnail. So that's how that particular gallery works. So what I would like to do is go ahead and just take all the links off of here. I just did that to show you that you can link stuff out, and I'm not going to make you watch me do this on all of them, but I'll go and just as a reminder, I'll unlink. Okay, I'll unlink a couple of them so you can see how to do it. All right, and I'll be done in just a second when you come back. Okay, so I've unlinked all of these, and I'll go ahead and update it, and we can check it one more time. And you can see now that we've got all the verticals are vertical, and you see that it shows the photo credit down below, right? Because we asked for it to show captions. Okay. All right. So that's how you can add a gallery. There obviously are some other ways that you could have added that gallery. If you wanted to see what the rest of the site looks like, remember I just added this just to throw something in there, but you can see that it sort of throws the grid off. So you'd want to probably try to make sure that you've got something that's going to fit in a grid. And then there's a contact page, which, yeah, you can fill out. Anyway, the last thing I actually would like to show you too is if I didn't want to see these in a grid of, with 3 columns, then I can go here and adjust the columns if I wanted to see them so that they're larger. And I might actually kind of like that on a page that's really just about the pictures. And then the other thing too that you can look at under spacing is you can change the margins. So I think I want the top margin to be smaller. And it doesn't really matter about the bottom margin so much because I don't really have anything else. And then under advanced, you can space the images out so that there's literally no space in between them if you want. That's an option so that you can just have this solid grid. That's one choice. You can put borders around them if you want. I don't think that I want borders, right? But I just want to show you that option. And then image ratio, you could have them as squares. And it's going to kind of crop the image a little bit differently. But it's really up to you if you want squares, rectangles, or if you say none, it's a little bit awkward because it doesn't do what's referred to a good masonry. I think you have to pay for that theme to do that. There might be an option that works for free, but I haven't found it. So anyway, so you could do square, rectangle, whatever. Okay, so those are some options. We'll update that, and then the other thing too that I would definitely recommend that you do is you're going to want to take the writing that you had and you're going to want to put it as a blog post as well. Okay, so let's create a new post, and we'll call this let's call this stream of consciousness. Let's say writing. Okay, and in here we're going to drag an element, and we'll just call this doubt. Okay, and then we're going to add some text down below that, and I'm just going to paste in my text. What you could also do, what I'm going to recommend is having revisions if you are going to, because you're probably going to end up doing revisions. So you could have a divider, for instance. Let's say that you want that divider to go there. We can have another divider down below that, let's say. And then maybe for this first one, we can have another title, let's say, inside of here. like it could be version 1. And then down below we could have another text, for instance, and we could have version 2, or it could be draft 1, draft 2, and so on, right? And then let's add the next piece. All right, and so you could put your different versions, right, as you're doing your editing, okay? And that's something I would actually recommend. I think it would be a good idea, in fact, to do something like that. And then you would go ahead and post it when you're ready, and you can take a look and see how it appears, okay? And then something like this would work. And there are comments down below, and if you don't want to allow comments, for instance, you probably don't, you can come down to where it says blog settings, and comment default, I would say closed, auto close comments. And you can also choose whether or not you want to have share buttons available, whether or not you want a blog sidebar. That was the thing that we had that said digital sketchbook. You could have some special header code if you wanted that to show up, if you know a little bit of HTML, and so on, okay? Publish it. Again, let's go here and test it out. Let's look at the blog, and then you can see that we've got our blog. Let's click on this title, and you can see that the comments are closed, right? So you don't get that choice, right? Anyway, and so you can see how easy it is to add stuff, to change stuff. You know, you'd want to definitely get rid of this stuff, but you could, you know, have a thing that's about me. You could have something that is sort of introduction to your portfolio if you want. You know, it's however you want to do this. You can completely remove those pieces. You can use a totally different theme, for instance. And then the other thing that you can also do is, you know, if you want to change this completely to use a different theme, then you could try a different theme and see how it reorganizes the content. So there's always that. But I would definitely encourage you to look at these different options that are here. I think if you wanted to add an audio piece, that you would actually need to pay for this. I think that's what the little lightning bolt is. So in fact, like if we create a new post, for instance, and we take over here and we drag an audio file, yeah, see, it's not available for free, so you'd have to actually pay for that. But if you wanted to drag a file here, for instance, you could click and add a file. So let's upload. And we're going to upload from my computer. So let's just find something. So let's pick this Rain and Thunder wave file. Actually, let's pick something much smaller. This is a smaller file, so we'll do the thunderclap. We'll do that, and it'll take a second to upload. Okay, so it uploaded this, and you'll see if I hover over it, it says basically you have to publish it before it'll link to the file. Before I do that, though, I need to give this post a title. So let's say that it's Stream of Consciousness audio file resources or something like that. Okay, and you could put a little piece of text or something here if you want, that's fine. The other thing too is, let's say that you find a sound that you like, but it's actually something from YouTube, and you want to just link to the YouTube video, because a lot of times people will put audio stuff in YouTube as a video, but really it's just about the audio. So if that happens, you can also use this YouTube button. Earlier I showed you how you could use embed code, and the thing about using the embed code is that it is still useful for you to know how to do that, because this link just links to YouTube. If you wanted to link something, say from Vimeo or from some other location, then you would need to use the embed code. But if you want to just use YouTube, that's something straight off of YouTube, this is a handy feature. So I would click here and it would say, what is the YouTube URL? And so I would need to add something. So what I did is I came over here to YouTube and I did a search for lightning sound. And if you put a comma here and then you type the words Creative Commons all run together, then it will do a search through its Creative Commons stuff. And this heavy lightning strikes. So maybe this would be good. Let's see. You could also do this, whatever. And it says that it's free to use, right? So here's a sound. Let's see how it sounds. There we go. It takes a minute for it to get in there, right? So what I would want to do is I would click on share and not use the embed code this time, but I would just copy the URL. All right, and I'm going to just close this for right now, and let's paste the URL in there. And you can change the position, the size, the spacing, all of that stuff. You can change the size if you want it to be small or whatever. So you could have a grid of sounds here too if you wanted, medium, large, etc. Okay, and then if you come back here, if you wanted the position to be on the left, however you want it. Like I actually kind of like the idea of making the size small, because this is not about the actual video, right? It's actually about the audio. However you want to do it is really not a big deal, okay? All right, so we could post this. Let's take a peek at it. And here's how it looks, right? So I can just watch this right here, right? So the thing about that is that I can go here and I can choose whether or not I want the quality. Right now it's at 1080, so it's fine, right? Those are already the settings. But here's the other thing too that is nice. So this WAV file, if I click on it, what's nice is that it still opens, right? So, and it's still playing. I don't know if you can hear this or not, but it's still playing. Okay, I have my headset on, so you might not be able to hear that because I don't think this is capturing my computer audio, but it was playing this and I could hear it. And the thing that's kind of nice is that even though this audio option over here on the left is for paid accounts only, that would just embed a player right here in the actual post itself. But the file still gives you, it takes you to a new window that has a player that just plays. So this is just fine too, right? And you can go ahead and publish your site, right? And so this is how you can start to create your posts and so on. And then you would do the same thing like for video resources. Again, you can use this YouTube link on the video resource page. If it's not a YouTube video, if you found it somewhere else, then you can go post Vimeo or something using the embed code. But the ultimate thing is that you are going to eventually have to download the video. Now, that being said, let's say that you shot the video. Okay, let's say that you shot the video yourself. This does not allow you to upload HD video without paying for it. So that part's not an option, but what we could do, all right, is you can also upload your videos to the server, the MAT server, and then you would create links to the files that are on that MAT server. Later, whenever this is finally due, this is going to be due later in the semester. That being said, each time I ask you to turn in stuff like your image resources or your video resources or whatever, then you're going to get a partial grade based on this. So your stuff has to be turned in this blog format. Okay, so that's something that's pretty important. So you should get started on this, pretty soon, so that you at least have some kind of vessel to start putting your stuff in. It doesn't have to be ultimately beautiful yet, so don't go crazy on that if you don't have a lot of time right now. Later, the design will matter a little bit more whenever it's actually finally due, because you're going to be using this throughout the whole semester for all of your different stuff. Okay. So anyway, this is a way for you to get started. This is an easy tool to use. There are plenty of other things out there that are similar. There are a lot of settings that we didn't even touch that you can explore and spend time playing around with, and that's completely all up to you. You can add categories and make things searchable and so on, right? You can add more stuff over here to this sidebar. You can delete stuff, however you want to do it. And you can also get some advice, and we can talk about it later. But this is a way for you just to get started so that you've got something where you can put your research.